guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoiler-filled gush video for Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. As I said, this video will have spoilers in it, so if you have not read the book, then I would go and check out my spoiler-free review, which is linked down below. For this gush video, I'm basically just going to talk about each character individually. There are so many point of views in here, and there's just a lot going on, and a lot that I feel like I can't even remember. I read this book about a week and a half ago, and I meant to film my review and gush right after, and I just didn't have the time at the time. But there's so much going on. There's so many different threads. There's things I'm going to forget, but I want to talk about each character individually and kind of what I think is going on with them, what I thought about them as a character, and their kind of plot arc within this book. So first, let's talk about Katrina. I really enjoyed her as a character. As soon as we saw her and her animal connection, I really enjoyed her. I like those kinds of abilities within people, so I found her really fascinating. I found that her plot point with being Alexander's twin was pretty obvious. I'm not sure if we were supposed to maybe be a little bit skeptical about that for a while, but I pretty much guessed that from the beginning. As soon as we started getting little bits of hints about things and her mother running away and stealing something and the bones and everything else, I kind of figured that they were twins, and especially when the author was making sure that they really didn't have like a romantic connection. It kept being stressed that they just felt really comfortable together, like they knew each other. I was like, I think you guys are twins. I'm pretty sure that's pretty obvious. You both have very similar magical abilities. You have to be twins. So I was just kind of waiting the whole book for them to find that out. But I really liked her journey. I wish we could have seen more of that and more of her training, because I felt like that was a little bit rushed. It kind of had to be for a book like this when there's so many things going on and so many people, but I wish we would have seen more of that, like, training montage and some of those magical elements and her kind of learning about her abilities and everything like that, instead of just having her show up on the battlefield. Although that was a badass scene, it was so awesome, I still wish I would have seen a little bit more in between that. But again, I wouldn't want to tack on too much more to the length of this book, since this is already a lengthy book as is, but I would have liked to see more of that. Then we have Jacob and the society that he's now kind of a part of. Jacob is not my favorite character. He is the pre-page 1 love interest that is just not really my thing, and I feel like he's going to be coming in and out and kind of holding Kat back a little bit. We will see what ends up happening. I just feel like ultimately he made a lot of foolish decisions, and I understand why he did, and that he's trying to make himself better and like wealth and blah blah blah, but the group that he decided to align with is blatantly evil, I feel like. It's pretty obvious to see they're not exactly a good group of characters there, so I'm not really a huge fan of him. I found his point of view the most boring probably throughout the story, but I understand why he's there. I hope that he grows over time. All of the characters have a huge potential for character development throughout the whole series, so interested to see where he goes. He's just not my favorite at this point. Alexander, I was surprised that I ended up really liking. I just didn't really feel like I would end up connecting with him, but I really did. I found him a very sympathetic character. I found him very reasonable. I found it to be very obvious that he's going to make a great leader eventually, and all the foreshadowing for him being a great leader, so I really enjoyed his character, and I'm interested to see where he goes, and all the things that he's kind of having to deal with his friends. I love the relationship with him and Hef. I think that was amazing friendship, and I liked it when they kind of rekindled that friendship, because it was so shaky at the beginning half of the book, so when they eventually figured out that they're being used and manipulated, I thought that was awesome, and I loved their really strong friendship. Speaking of Afestiana, I wasn't sure what I was going to think of him at the beginning. He was kind of an ass at the beginning, and I do like those kinds of characters at times, but I wasn't really sure, and then as it went on, I ended up really enjoying him. Once he kind of fell off with Sin and didn't really affiliate with her that much anymore, and we got this kind of like witty, biting banter with him and Kat, I was like, yes, I shipped that. I shipped that so hard. I was talking to Jillian from Bookish and Nerdy while I was reading this, because she's the only one that I had known that had read this already, and we were both talking about that and how much we love that relationship with that kind of biting banter, and I'm really interested to see what happens with them, because I just think they're so cute, and I cannot wait to see how that relationship develops. I also really enjoyed Hef as a character. I just like those kinds of like headstrong, stubborn characters, but again, he has a ton of room to grow throughout the series. I like having characters start at the bottom as like confused and underdeveloped and kind of grow into these great, amazing characters, and I think he has a ton of potential. As far as Sin, I actually find myself liking her a lot as well. Even at the beginning when I was like, wow, this girl is crazy, I ended up really enjoying her and pulling for her. Even though she was doing horrible things to some of the other characters and really being manipulative, I understood where she was coming from and why she was doing the things she was doing. She's really in self-preservation mode. So I understand her, and I'm interested to see what happens with her now that she's gone and captured, and they're going to try to get her back. And she can really form a strong bond, I think, with the remaining characters when they do hopefully get her back. So I'm looking forward to her again. Again, another character that has such potential for amazing character growth. Then we have Olympias, who is again crazy. I'm liking these like crazy all over the place, very strong women that we have that aren't exactly the best people. I'm really enjoying those dynamics with her, and all the magic and her like immortal snake lover coming back and what that's gonna mean because she needs Cat's bones, and like she's just like a creepy Cersei Lannister type character. And even though she's evil and is causing a lot of issues, I'm still rooting for her a little bit, and I'm really interested to see where she goes. I think she's gonna end up killed somewhere throughout the series, but while she's around, I think she's going to be very interesting. The last character is Zafia, and at the beginning, again, I wasn't sure what to feel about her. She's a very stereotypical, you know, princess running away from home, very naive, you know, just going to run away on the road in the middle of the night. Nothing bad could possibly happen, right? Come on. So I found her to be a little bit naive and very gullible, and I'm not really sure what to feel about her with the first half of the book. But when she eventually meets up with the other Persian, kind of, I guess he's a prince, Akis, I think is his name, I really enjoyed that dynamic. Again, another relationship that I feel can be very hate to love. I'm interested to see what happens with that. We already have the prophecy that she would end up being kind of like the death of Cosmus if she ended up back with him. So I'm interested to see what the whole like Akis thing is, but she's also fated to have her blood mixed with Alexander's blood, but I'm feeling like that might not be an actual marriage, and it might end up being like their ancestors' blood mixes down the line, because that still applies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pulling for her and Akis right now, because it's a very bantery relationship, push and pull, and it's just something that I really enjoy, so I'm really looking forward to them. And again, a character who started out very much kind of two-dimensional, just kind of boring, the typical trope, but I think she's really going to grow a ton throughout the series. So that is all I'm going to talk about with Legacy of Kings today. There is a ton that I could go into. There's so many POVs that it's just really overwhelming, so I really couldn't go into a ton, but if you have anything you want to discuss about Legacy of Kings, any questions or things that you popped up or whatever, please feel free to leave me a comment. We can discuss more. If I discussed everything, we would be here for like half an hour, and I just don't have time for that. But comment below and discuss with me anything you want about Legacy of Kings. So thank you all for watching. I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!